It's that time again. Halloween. Whoop, 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 whoop. Yeah, it's that time when celebrate the scary things in our lives, celebrate the things that freak us out. And when I think about that, I think about the things inside of us. And I think about the things that scare us or that we want to keep hidden away or are creepy to us. And what happens is, as we suppress and repress those things inside of us, the things that we feel really vulnerable about, that amplifies our stress, anxiety, and overwhelm. So today, I want to tell you a story about how I transformed through giving those creepy things the light of day, and how you can do it too and gain more freedom than ever and use Halloween as the reason for that. Stay tuned. If you're new here, then my name is Dr. Elisha Goldstein. I am a psychologist and I am the creator of a mental health accelerator program called Uncover the Power Within. If you want to know more about that and work with me more closely, go ahead and click on the link in the description below. Okay, let's talk about this. There are things inside each and every one of us that we don't like about ourselves. There are things that if we could lobotomize those, we would do it. And yet we can't. There are many parts of ourselves. And there was a part of myself that I really didn't like many, many years ago. And I shared a video about this that I'll put a link into here as well, that you can listen to, something I was so ashamed about that I almost never told anybody. And this was a time where I was living in San Francisco and I was working hard and playing a whole lot harder, and I was just in the throes of my addictive behavior. I'll fast forward. I ended up through the support of many people moving through that, and it fast forward to the time when I was writing my third book, Uncovering Happiness. And I was taking a walk with my stepmom at the time, and she said to me, something felt like it was missing. And she said, well, what's your story? What's your greatest secret, greatest vulnerability? And I shared with her the night that I was in downtown San Francisco and I'd been up for 3 days, and I was just looking for something to keep me up, to help me stay awake for the next day of work. And it was in that moment I knew I was in my deepest, darkest place in my entire life. And she said, why don't you share that? Share that, how you move through this. Share how what you're talking about and teaching people can help them through that. And so I did. I ended up writing it in my book. Wow, that was a really scary thing to do, to write that out to thousands and thousands of people, to share my deepest, darkest secret, this part that I was so ashamed about that I could not get in control over my own behavior, and I was destroying myself. But there was a great freedom in that. Here's what ended up happening. By allowing that vulnerability to get the light of day, which is what happens on Halloween. All those creepy crawlies get the light of day. That released a burden I was holding, a stress from that shame. It also allowed people to come out of the woodwork and say, you know what, me too. To reach out with a sense of connection. I wasn't alone anymore. It also allowed me to give other people empathy, because I could share with them, like, you know what, I experienced something like that too. Whenever I see a teenager or someone in their 20s, 30s, 40s, and they're in the throes of some kind of addictive behavior, I can say, you know what, experience something like that too. And there's a connection that happens, and a person doesn't feel so alone. There's a release that occurs. So here's what I want to ask you. What happens when you tell a part of yourself that it's bad, that it's not worth making contact with, or you want to hide it away? So you're basically telling yourself, a part of me is really ugly and a part of me is really bad. So you're telling yourself this as if you had people around you who were saying to you and whispering in your ear all the time, something's really bad about you, something's really ugly, something defective or deficient about you. We don't want to see it. We don't want to see it. Oh, that energy, it's got to pierce us. It's got to hold us down. No wonder we're feeling anxious, depressed, overwhelmed, or re-traumatized. We're almost doing it to ourselves. There are no bad parts. There are no bad parts of ourselves. All parts of ourselves heal when given the light of day and shown love and care. We're more clear about what we need, and we can apply that. I did another video talking about why you want to consider your life as a soup. I'll put a link to that one here too, so you can look at that. And what we need when we give these bad parts a light of day, what we call these bad parts, we're more clear about what we need right now, what we need for the healing, repair. And what do? We send a message internally that we're worth paying attention to. Nothing defective about this. You're worth caring about. You're worth being loved. So much benefit comes from it. So here's my question to you. Second question to you. What are you hiding? What's the secret you're holding? What's a part of you that you feel ashamed about? Maybe it's the part that it's these negative voices inside of your head that you keep getting trapped by. Maybe it's something about your body. Maybe it's something about your sexuality. Maybe it's something about your own addictive behaviors. How can you begin to give them visibility, the light of day? We don't need a stigma around mental health anymore. There's the reason we have any of these issues is because we keep things in hiding. And so what can you bring to the light of day? What can you share? And so I want to share with you a practice that I think is really worthwhile, that's been incredibly helpful for me. When you think about your vulnerability, this part of yourself that's wounded, really. When you give it the light of day, even if you just do it to yourself, write it in a journal, think about it in your mind, think about it as a part of yourself that's wounded. And in your mind, say, imagine sitting with this part of yourself and say, may we feel safe and protected from both inner and outer harm. May we feel loved. May we learn to accept ourselves just as we are. May we be free from fear, the fear that keeps us stuck. May we be at peace. Repeat these phrases over and over. Maybe put your hand on your heart. There are no ugly parts, there's no bad parts. And we can learn to teach ourselves that we're worth attending to, we're worth being loved and cared about. This Halloween can be an example of that, could be an inspiration for it. They call it an inspired Halloween. Okay, I hope this was supportive for you. If this was supportive, don't forget to like, comment, and if you're new here, subscribe. And I will put another video on the other end of this for you to continue to grow and enjoy with. My name is Dr. Elisha Goldstein. I'll see you in the next video.